Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Man shot dead while transporting school children in St. Elizabeth. A motorist who was transporting 3 primary school students were shot dead at Park, which is close to Santa Cruz in St. Elizabeth on Tuesday. Preliminary reports are that about 3 p.m., the man, after picking up 3 of his relatives at the Park Mountain Primary School, was shot by a gunman while at the wheel. The shooting happened near the intersection of Park and the Santa Cruz Main Road. Further reports suggested that the vehicle in which the man and the school children were traveling crashed. Reporters understand that the school children were not harmed during the incident. No charge yet for Nikita Noel, murder suspect. The Hanover police are reporting that the 42-year-old suspect in the murder of Nikita Noel in Q District in the parish is not yet charged. The 9-year-old student of Esher Primary failed to return home last Wednesday afternoon, resulting in an alarm being raised by her mother. Noel was later discovered after 7:30 p.m. in bushes, meters away from her home, by a search party. She is believed to have been raped and strangled. Her mother's partner was later accosted by the police and placed in protective custody. His identity has not yet been revealed. Head of the Hanover Police Division, Senior Superintendent Sharon B. Pott, told reporters Monday afternoon that no charges have been preferred against the man. He is not yet charged. We're still working on it. We're still collecting statements, B. Pott confirmed. Assistant Commissioner of Police for Area 1 Clifford Chambers revealed last Thursday that the suspect and the deceased girlfriend mother had an intimate relationship. We know that the mother intimate partner, they had an issue between them, and that is one of the line of inquiry which is being followed, he added. Lawyer gets stay of suspension order. Attorney at law Lisa May Gardner has been granted a further stay of the 6-month suspension from practice imposed in November last year until her appeal has been heard and determined. The appeal is set for an expedited hearing in the first week of May. Court of Appeal Judge Paulette Williams last week stayed the order of the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Counsel. The judge also stayed all monetary awards made against Gardner. Gardner was found guilty of breaching the Legal Profession Act arising from the sale of a property in Orange Grove, Trelawney, which fell through. The committee ruled that Gardner, as the vendor's attorney, owed a duty of care to the purchaser. The committee had ruled that Gardner must be paid US $35,000 to the complainants who have attempted to purchase the property. The complainant had paid money directly to the vendor without Gardner's knowledge. The money was not returned and the complainant took the issue to the GLC. Gardner is asking the Court of Appeal to find that she committed error in its finding both in fact and law having regard to the circumstances and the fact that she derived no financial benefits from money paid by the complainants. She has filed several grounds of appeal and is asking the court to set aside the committee's finding that, as the vendor's attorney, she owed a duty of care to the purchaser. The application for a stay was made by attorney at law Stephanie Williams, instructed by the law firm Helen Gibson Helen. The GLC was represented by Patrick Foster KC and attorney at law Mark Paul Cowan, instructed by the law firm Nunes Colefield, De Leon and Company. Road Traffic Act enforcement not about revenue, says Holness. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has reiterated that the new Road Traffic Act is not meant to punish citizens or simply collect revenue. Holness, who was addressing the National Land Agency's systematic land registration land titling ceremony at the New Forest High School, stated that even though the government will make changes to the child restraint requirement in the new Road Traffic Act, it aspires to enforce safety measures for children in public transportation. We understand it is not practical, but it remains as aspiration. I encourage all parents, I encourage all public passenger transport users to look about the safety of yourself and your children when you use public passenger transport. Don't be ashamed to put on the seatbelt in the back of the car, and if your child is lucky enough to get a seat in the car and they get the middle seat, put on the lap belt on them, he said on Tuesday in South Manchester. The Prime Minister also encouraged road users to adopt the road safety measures. We are not less than anyone else who always put on their seatbelts, he said. Holness added that Jamaica is entering a new dispensation of the enforcement of its law. In the previous dispensation, you would never have had the curfew about the seatbelt for children because nobody believed it would be enforced. Now everybody understands that the government is serious about enforcement, he said. Holness stated, "The enforcement is about public order and public safety, meaning your safety. That is what it is about. So I urge Jamaicans, don't get caught up in some of the nonsense that is being said. Your country is changing right before your very eyes, but when you're in the midst of change, it can appear confusing, chaotic, and oftentimes imperceptible. But when the history is written and you look back at this era and you ask yourself, when did things change from traffic management and public order in Jamaica, the historian will have to point to this period in Jamaica's history." His comments followed the widespread public debate and the second consecutive day of some taxi operators striking in sections of the country. 6-month project to remedy Mandeville traffic congestion begins. A traffic improvement project to remedy long-standing congestion in this parish commenced on Monday. The Greater Mandeville Traffic Improvement System, which incorporates roads and intersections being widened and signalized, was delayed by 4 months. Among the roads and intersections to be signalized under the $800 million project are North Race Coast Road to Main Street, North Race Coast Road to Caledonia Road, Villa Road to Main Street, South Race Coast Road, Caledonia Road, Park Crescent, Manchester Road, Perth Road, and Greenvale Road. Phase 1 of the project will include the conversion of a section of the Caledonia Road into a one-way system. Last September, National Works Agency Major, Project Manager Orville Reynolds, told business, political, and transport leaders that J&L Construction, which is a contractor for the project, will take into consideration suitable working hours to reduce traffic congestion. At that time, Reynolds said the project was slated for completion within 6 months following its commencement. 28 killed in road crashes this year, RSU. 28 people were killed as a result of 26 fatal crashes as of Friday, February 3rd, according to the latest statistics released by the Road Safety Unit, RSU. The numbers represent a significant 38% decline in fatalities and a 33% drop in fatal crashes when compared to the corresponding period in 2022. Despite the decline, the RSU is projecting a negligible 0.5% increase in fatalities in 2023 when compared with 2022, when a record 488 people died on nation roads. Motorcyclists account for the majority of road users killed so far this year, accounting for 36% of all deaths since January 1. 21% of the fatalities to date are among pedestrians. Drivers of private motor vehicles account for 7% of the road deaths reported up to February 3rd, so too passengers of private motor vehicles. The group of road users regarded as most vulnerable, pedestrians, pedal cyclists, motorcyclists, and pillion riders, account for 79% of the road users killed since the start of the year. And with a little over a month into the year, males already account for 89% of road deaths compared to 11% for females. The parish of St. Catherine currently accounts for 18% of the overall road users killed since the start of the year, followed by Manchester, St. Elizabeth, and St. Andrew with a 14% each.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell